I'm going to walk through the Canon imagePROGRAF iPF770 as if we're both sitting at a workstation, trying to decide if this 36-inch inkjet is the right tool for the kind of work you do. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. My goal isn't to hype a spec sheet, it's to help you weigh the real-world pros and cons so you can avoid buying a machine that feels impressive on paper but falls short in daily use. First off, the iPF770 is aimed squarely at professionals who need reliable, large-format output on a regular basis. Think architects, graphic designers, and photographers who print exhibition-size proofs. If you only pull a poster or two a month, the cost of the printer, its consumables, and the space it occupies might outweigh the convenience. On the other hand, if you run a small studio that prints client-approved layouts, marketing banners, or fine art reproductions every week, the speed and consistency of this model become tangible time-savers. Setting the iPF770 up isn't a mystery, but it does demand a dedicated spot. The machine measures just under a meter wide, so you'll need a stable, level surface that can support the weight of the chassis plus 2 full-size media rolls. Users report that the initial unpacking feels straightforward. The printer arrives with the printhead already installed, the ink tanks pre-filled, and the power cable ready to plug in. The real work begins when you calibrate the printhead. A step Canon automates with a built-in sensor that runs a quick alignment routine. It takes about 5 minutes, and the printer tells you when it's done, so there's no guesswork. Once calibrated, the daily workflow is where the iPF770 shows its character. The advertised 2 size prints per minute translates into a noticeable rhythm when you're pushing a queue of high-resolution PDFs. In a typical day, a design shop might run a batch of 12-inch flyers, a few 24-inch layouts, and finish with a single 36-inch poster. The printer handles each size without needing a manual paper change. You load the appropriate roll, select the media type in the driver, and let the printer feed the correct width automatically. That fluidity matters when you're juggling tight deadlines. Ink consumption is another practical angle. The iPF770 uses Canon's Lucia Pro pigment inks, which are known for their archival quality and vibrant color gamut. For a photographer printing gallery-ready prints, the pigment inks keep the color stable for years, which justifies the higher per milliliter price. For a sign-making shop that prints short-run banners, the same ink longevity may be overkill, and the cost per square foot can add up. Because the printer uses separate tanks for each color, you only replace what you actually use, but the tanks are larger than those on a desktop photo printer, so a single refill can keep you printing for weeks if your volume is modest. The included 1-year on-site warranty is a comfort factor that you don't see on many consumer-grade printers. If the printhead clogs or a mechanical part fails, a Canon technician will come to your studio, diagnose the issue, and replace the component without you needing to ship the machine away. That's a real advantage if your business can't afford downtime. However, the warranty only covers the first 12 months, so you should factor in a service contract or be prepared for out-of-pocket repairs after that period. Now, let's talk about the hidden trade-offs. The iPF770 draws a fair amount of power, about 350 W when printing at full speed, so you'll notice a higher electricity bill compared to a smaller office printer. It's also a bit noisy during peak operation. The rollers and the high-speed feed produce a steady hum that can be heard across an open studio floor. If your workspace is shared with a quiet coworker or you have a client-facing area nearby, you might need to schedule large jobs for off-peak hours or invest in a sound-dampening enclosure. Software integration is another practical consideration. Canon supplies the printer driver and a plugin for Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator that lets you manage color profiles directly from the application. The workflow is smooth if you already use those Adobe tools, but if you rely on CorelDRAW or a niche CAD program, you'll have to verify that the driver supports those file types without a hitch. The driver also offers a borderless mode for full bleed prints, which is essential for poster work, but you have to manually set the bleed area in your layout software. There's no automatic detection. Who should buy this printer? If you're a professional whose revenue depends on delivering large format prints quickly and with archival quality, the iPF770 offers a compelling blend of speed, color fidelity, and on-site support. It's especially worth considering if you already have a workflow built around Canon's ink ecosystem. because the cost of switching to a different brand could offset the productivity gains. Studios that need to produce a high volume of client proofs, architectural renderings, or fine art prints will find the TUD size permanent rate a genuine productivity boost. Who should skip it? If your printing needs are occasionally a hobbyist who prints a few 24-inch photos a year, or if you operate